Yeah, it was the whole thing that we did last week. We talked about it in the last week's segment. But I keep saying Rent Live. But Rent, ratings weren't that great, but they wouldn't expect it to be great. It's not exactly a family-friendly show. You know?
Right.
It's not. Like, I'm not going to sit down and watch it with CJ, that kind of thing. You know? And Hair, I don't even know how they were going to pull it off. I still would love to know how they were going to pull that one off. Because for those who don't know, the original Hair on Broadway was naked. They were naked. That's just how the show was. So there's no way to do that on a television show. There's no way to pull that off.
At least not in America.
No, not in this country. So we'll see what happens with NBC down the road. I still am surprised. I think Fox might be happy with the ratings the way they were because they were low, but they were high in the demographic. So that's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. It's still, for me, was up there with Grease Live. And nothing's going to top Grease Live for me. So when it comes to quality of a show. But anyway, let's move on to, and a lot of people are probably wondering, why we didn't start with this? But the Brian Boyle news just kind of shocked us, so we had to start with that. Well, this weekend, it's supposed to be the biggest football game of the year, this past weekend. And last week we discussed it, and we were both rooting for the Rams. I honestly didn't care either way.
Right.
Going in, I almost didn't watch the game, and I'm looking back at this. Maybe I should not have. Damn you for making me watch this game.
I mean, it was fun.
No, it was awful. This was the most boring football game I have seen in years.
It was a defensive game.
We'll get into it in 1 second. New England did win, obviously, 13-3. That's New England's 6th Super Bowl victory. Tied with Pittsburgh for the most all time. And admittedly, it sucks. New England won again. But at the same time, I wonder, and I don't know this for a fact because the social media era we live in now, but we lived through the Yankees dynasty. We lived through that back in the late 90s. Are the Patriots more hated than the Yankees were at the end of the 90s?
You know what? I think that's difficult to answer because we lived in the area.
True.
So it seems like they were more like, to me, if they seem more hated, I bet if we were maybe in that area, it would be a different story. But I still think, I don't see, you know what, now I'm thinking about it.
Because I remember during the Dallas Cowboys run, everyone hated the Cowboys if you weren't a Cowboys fan. And that's the best thing I can think of when it comes to the Patriots run. And that was the Cowboys and the Niners. That was the 90s for us.
Yeah.
That's the last time we saw a dynasty like this in football.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and everyone hated people still hate the Cowboys because of that run in the 90s. You know?
Well, they need to get over it.
Well, I hate them as a Giants fan. It's different for me. I hate my divisional rivals. So, but yeah, so I don't know. So I was wondering, lowest Super Bowl ever.
Well, you know what? Okay, I just thought, everyone hated the Yankees as a whole, but I think everyone really hates Tom Brady more than the whole team.
Touché. Because even looking back now, you can respect a Derek Jeter. You can respect players like that. It was more of a Steinbrenner thing back in the 90s when it came to the Yankees. That's a good point. I didn't think of it from that perspective. You're absolutely right. So, at least Brady didn't win the MVP this year.
So, God, I know.
I had to run a big count of work, so I missed the MVP award. And I'm like, Brady can't win MVP. Like, there's no way on a normal level that Brady can possibly win MVP this year. He did nothing the entire game. Like,
he didn't kiss the right people to win.
Yeah, Edelman did win the MVP, which he deserved it. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
He's the only player in this game that did anything. He's literally the only one. Overall, I said this at work the next day. It may have something to do that it was boring, or it may have something to do I was playing the game with CJ. I don't remember the third quarter happening. like at all. I don't remember that third quarter of play. Like I couldn't tell you what, and I wasn't drinking. I was literally drinking soda all night. I wasn't drinking any alcohol. I don't remember the third quarter happening. So that's something.
I guess.
Anyway, the talk normally is about the commercials, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a weak year.
The past couple of years have been kind of weak. Like, I remember Super Bowl Sunday, and, like, people would be pumped for the commercials, and every commercial was funny. It hasn't been like that for the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it was a weak... Oh, hang on a second. I just got another trade from the Predators.
Oh.
Predators...
Brian Boyle's traded to someone else.
No. The Predators acquire Cody McCall from the Rangers for a 2020 pick. Anyway, it just happened. Apparently, people are trading players to the Predators this year. Today, apparently.
That used to play for the Rangers.
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry about that. This got distracted. I looked at my phone, and it popped up on my phone. But yeah, I agree with you about the commercial. This year, I think, for me, the highlights were I always love the good old-fashioned Budweiser horse commercials. I love those every year. I look forward to those every year. I really... Was it Amazon that had all these celebrities this year? Like the big celebrity commercial? Wasn't that Amazon? That had a fun one where they were testing out products that didn't work. And I think Harrison Ford with his dog might have been the funniest thing I saw all night. That was hysterical. And that's about all I can remember. Like, that were good. Like, it was...
Yeah.
No. And the Game of Thrones Bud Light commercial was hysterical because I did not see that coming. I didn't see it coming, so it was funny. I give credit where that was due. But again, I don't even know who paid for that commercial. Was it Bud Light or was it HBO? Like, who paid for that one? What about you? And what do you remember as the good ones?
Not much of anything. I mean, the Harrison Ford and dog combo was good. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there really wasn't a lot of, like, funny commercials. I don't know. It's really weird.
And the Doritos Backstreet Boys thing was funny. That was pretty funny. Well, Manny enjoyed it. And it was the Backstreet Boys. And they just had an album come out. And they're in the middle of a big tour. So it makes sense that they do something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. There was nothing else to really bring up. Even last year, we had more to talk about at the Super Bowl. Like, we had more to discuss. Like, there was nothing going on.
And the other thing that I don't like that people have been doing now is they've been posting some of the commercials on social media before the Super Bowl even happens.
That was a couple of years ago.
Kills it too.
A couple of years ago, I think it was YouTube put all of them up before the game. Like all of them.
So stupid. Like,
this
people,
year I didn't see that.
It's a tradition. You watch the Super Bowl and you kind of stick around for the commercials. Like, that's always been a thing.
I mean, I think I got up more during the game this year than the actual commercial break because I wanted to see the commercials. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weak. Like, even, like, everyone was freaking out over the Avengers Endgame the commercial. That wasn't much of anything. There wasn't much
just a teaser. But, I mean, it was right off the bat, though.
Yes, but, like, there wasn't much to it. You know? It wasn't anything we didn't already see or know about. Same with the Captain Marvel commercial. It was kind of like, okay, movie's coming out in a month. We know that already. Like, you don't have to pay for this commercial. Even the Toy Story one was kind of all right. You know? It wasn't much of anything.
But again, it was a teaser.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the other things that were on, we have halftime, and we will discuss what we watched in a second.
Yes.
The Maroon 5 halftime show, I did not see it, and I have not gone on my way to watch it outside of a couple of highlights on the news. But have you seen any of it? No. Okay. So you text me a lot of times because you stay up late in order to keep your sleeping habits together because of your overnight job. And I go to sleep a lot of times, and a lot of times I'll wake up to like a message from you or a text from you about something. And you text me about Adam Levine. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I had no idea what was going on. Could you explain to me what the fuck was going on after the Super Bowl with Adam Levine?
So there were a lot of people that were upset because, obviously if you remember many years ago, the whole Janet Jackson thing happened.
Of course. Changed everything.
Which was dubbed Nipplegate.
Yes.
So people were upset because Nipplegate happened again because Adam Levine took his shirt off during the performance and no one batted an eye about it. And they said, well, wait a minute, why, if there's a rule, because apparently there was a rule, that you were not allowed to expose your nipple during the Super Bowl halftime show because of the audience. So they were like, okay, so if you made this outrageous rule for her, why did it not apply to him? And I'm just like, is this really the argument that we're having this morning?
Welcome to 2019, people.
Oh my God.
This sounds like a conversation from last year. Like, this sounds like one of the conversations we had last year. All the stupid debates we were having last year over stupid shit. That's what this reminds me of.
Not to mention Bed Bath & Beyond advertising the fact that they sold drapes and pillows in the same pattern as the tank top he was wearing.
What? I didn't know about that.
Did I not send that to you?
No, that's hysterical.
Oh my God, hold on.
Oh, that is
legitimately on Facebook. They took a screenshot of him wearing that tank top with a pair of curtains and like a pillow with the same exact pattern. They said, "You looking to have Adam Levine in your living room? Well, shop here."
Ironically, the people that would want Adam Levine in the living room are the ones that want the shirtless version. You know? You know what's funny is that with the Maroon 5 performance, apparently it was bad. It was just a bad performance. Were like fans of his were actually saying it was bad. Like when your own fans.
Well, I thought I
like
read
it.
somewhere that there was sound issues. I don't know if there was any truth to that.
I don't know. I didn't see it. The only thing I've seen was the weird SpongeBob tribute at the beginning and the Big Boy performance because they were talking about it on the news. That's about it. That's all I saw. Like, I saw nothing else. Because I know he did a tribute to SpongeBob at the beginning.
Which apparently got cut off and people were pissed.
Yeah, apparently. It wasn't good enough for people. That's what I heard. Oh, Sal, what were we watching instead of the halftime show?
We were watching the only halftime show that mattered, and that's Halftime Heat.
And know what's funny is I go online on Facebook during the show, and I think it was our buddy Joe who's talking about the halftime show, and he put up a post saying, I'm waiting for all the status updates complaining about the halftime show. And I commented on his I'm not even watching it, I'm watching Halftime Heat on the WWE Network, and like 5 or 6 people responded like, "Yeah, WWE Halftime Heat, NXT." I'm like, I'm so glad that got the reaction it did. I really, really enjoyed that 6-man tag match NXT put on. That was fantastic.
Oh, it was absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, that was, and did fucking Adam Cole pull out a Canadian Destroyer from the top rope? Like, where the fuck did that come from? Why has he never done that before? Like, I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So, I give credit where it's due. That was, and by the way, from what I've been reading, a lot of people assumed that match was going to be taped at Full Sail during the NXT tapings that happened last week. And when the match didn't happen, everyone was like confused. Well, again, much like WWE's been doing a lot lately, they decided, well, we have a performance center. Why do we have to tape this? And they did it live at the performance center instead, which I thought was cool. I thought it was well done. I liked the setup. I liked the small venue. I liked the fact that we had a crowd there that just wanted to see the match. We had, as you refer to her as Lady Ref, during the match.
Yay, Lady Ref.
I love her so much. But the cool part about her was I think that was the first time she's refed a men's match on television. That was the first time. So that was cool. We had like a little bit of history there. The first female to referee a men's match on television. So, very cool.
Now, was that like the only match they had, or did they do like a little show for
everyone? I don't know. I haven't heard anything else. Well, remember, Full Sail is connected. Full Sail and like everything is in like driving distance. So if they really needed an audience, they could just go to the Full Sail camp and say, "Come to the Performance Center for a free wrestling match for halftime and help us get the crowd riled up." They could have done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could see them doing that.